Hi everybody, so I've got a couple of new releases to show you today, starting with one of the brand new New Year releases. This is from the Bobbi Brown collection, the LUNAR collection. So I'll be trying this on for the first time today and giving you my thoughts on this. And I'll also be trying on the new Whatsup Beauty bronzer and blush. I just picked up one of each to sort of match my skin tone. These are really, really beautiful actually, so I can't wait to show you these. And I've picked up the brand new lipstick shade from Westman Atelier. This is Elodie. This really appealed to me. It's a beautiful, beautiful shade. I haven't tried it on, so I don't know if it suits me, but I can't wait to find out today. And also I'm going to show you something that released earlier this year, but I haven't shown it yet on this channel, and this is the Sephora Reveal the Real Skin Tint. So I've tried this a few times and I just thought I'd show you whilst I was showing you these other new releases. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into all of these today. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah. I'm 47. I'm not a professional. I'm just somebody who loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel, I like to review the latest products, show you some of my favourite looks and give you any beauty news you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy that, please do like and subscribe. It's super helpful to my channel. And if you're already subscribed, welcome back. I really appreciate you all so very much. And my skin tone, if that's helpful to any of you, I've got fair to light skin with neutral/cool undertones, and I've got blue eyes. Anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get straight into this video. So I really need to cheer my skin up today because I'm still full of this cold. I look grey and dull, and I think I have a bit more redness in my skin as well from this cold. So I need something to make me look a little bit more alive. So I need to get straight into this skin tint. Maybe not the best choice to look massively alive. Maybe I need a full coverage, but anyway, I do love a skin tint and I do love a natural finish. So this one has been really nice actually from Sephora and very reasonably priced. This one is only £17.99. So compared with other skin tints like the Lisa Eldridge, for instance, this is a lot more reasonable, although it does have a very similar sort of finish. And some information on this. This is said to give you light to natural coverage, a natural luminous radiant finish, and it's suitable for dry, normal, oily, combination and sensitive skin. So basically this is suitable for everybody. The active ingredients in this, 93% skincare base, which I absolutely love, and it's enriched with hydrating flower extracts. It claims that the soft radiant finish will last for up to 12 hours, it has a light buildable coverage, and it evens out the complexion and corrects without any caking, and it instantly blurs the appearance of pores, smooths skin texture and hides imperfections. So that's something I really need today because my skin is definitely not looking as happy as it normally does. So this has a flexible shade range, meaning you can pretty much go for the one you think will work, and chances are it will, because even if it's a bit too light or a bit too dark, chances are it's flexible and stretchable, so you can use it for your skin tone, which is useful. But there are still 12 shades in this one, and this covers all 4 skin tone categories: fair, light, medium and deep. It also says that this won't oxidize, so it should retain the colour that you've applied in the morning. You should look the same and you should look natural all day. That's what it's claiming anyway. And an added bonus is that it's vegan and it's free from any animal derived ingredients. So I'll just pop up the full ingredients list here for you now so you can see those. So I'm going to use my Rapha BO2 brush, a brush I don't believe is available anymore, but they have just launched new cream brushes, a full set, so I've actually ordered those, so I'll let you know how I get on with those. But for now I'm going to use the BO2, which I think might have been the first one that was launched and then changed, but I actually really like this one for a skin tint. So the shade I've got here is 130N. So on initial application it did look a bit warm and yellow, but as it says, it's stretchable and it's certainly not looking warm and yellow as I'm applying this. So what we want to see now is, can it target this and even out the redness around my nose and around my cheeks? So it's got a bit of a job on its hands today because I'm just not feeling very well and it's showing. So let's put some in those areas where I've got redness. You can see if it's going to correct. I'll just do one side of the face first. It's extremely lightweight, very refreshing actually, and it absorbs very, very quickly. Very little effort involved in applying this. And I think you can see that it is starting to even out my skin tone quite nicely there. And it's leaving a very natural finish. Extremely lightweight and wearable. So this one would be a really good option, especially in the summer when you really don't want a thick base. But I do quite like wearing thin coverage like this all year round actually, so depending on my mood. So I really wanted to show you this one on my channel because I do feel this is an alternative, a more affordable alternative to the Lisa Eldridge skin tint. I wouldn't say it's better, but I think it's the closest thing I have tried to it. Maybe the Chantecaille is the other one. So if I was going to say which ones are as good, it'd probably be Lisa Eldridge first, then the Chantecaille, then this one. So that's how high I would rank it, I think, at the moment. I really like it. So there we go, extremely lightweight, but I do feel that the redness has started to balance out. So if you look at the side here where I haven't done it, so you can see around my nose where it's still looking so red, and around this side of my chin. Whereas if you look at this side of the face where I have applied it, it's definitely looking a lot more even and more balanced. I do feel, in fairness, that I need a bit more full coverage because of me just not looking so good right now. So maybe I'm really testing this to the fullest in doing this, but it's given you a very good idea, I think, of the sort of coverage you get from this. Now it does say buildable, but I do think with skin tints that's a bit of a stretch, because you can keep building them, but they are so lightweight, they don't really build a lot of coverage. But I will go in at the end in some of the areas where I want maybe a bit more coverage, and you can see if you think it's buildable. So I've heard from quite a few of you now that you've also been getting this nasty cold that seems to be going around the whole world right now. It's very common at this time of year, isn't it? First nasty cold I've had of the year. This one's really got its teeth into me. It's been keeping me awake. I think that's been the hardest part. At least 3 nights now I've been awake until sort of 5, 6 a.m, not being able to breathe properly and with sinus pain, and oh, it's been a nightmare. I'm really hoping I can be better for Christmas week, and hoping you all are too, and you're not currently ill. I hope you've recovered if you've had this or similar. So there is my full face covered, and I think you can see, especially there where I think the redness was worse, it's done a fantastic job actually of balancing out the redness there and really giving me a much more even skin tone. I think this has given me a very nice, lovely, natural finish. It really is beautiful. So I'll just put a tiny bit now in some areas to show you if it's buildable. So I can still see a little bit of redness peeking through my cheeks here. So let's just put a little bit here. And then you can see what you think about the buildable capabilities. If I just tap it in a bit more rather than swiping, so that it really pushes it into the skin. It is actually buildable. So when I said it's a bit of a stretch when they say that, it is actually, because I do feel that that's built up. I'll do the same here where you can still see a bit of redness, and I'll do exactly the same. I'll just pat it in rather than swiping, and you'll see hopefully that it's built up a little bit. So it's slightly buildable. It's really, really nice. So I definitely recommend picking this one up if you're looking for a more affordable option that's pretty much as good as the best out there, in my opinion. So there we have my full face of Reveal the Real in 130N Fair. I'll go on and do the rest of my base, and then we'll get back to start looking at this new eyeshadow palette. So I've got my base fully on now, and I've powdered across the whole of the face because I really wanted to set this down. So this is how the skin tint looks fully powdered. Maybe not the intended way of using a skin tint normally, but I quite often like to do that anyway when I've just got that light coverage. It also means I need a lot less powder because it just doesn't need as much setting. So that's how it's looking set down. And I've got my concealer on. So now I'm going to go in with this new eyeshadow palette. This is the Bobbi Brown LUNAR release, the LUNAR Lights eyeshadow quad. This is £42. This really drew me in with the colours. I love the look of the colours. A very simple, basic story here, but I do think the colours are really beautiful. But I'm going to tell you before I even try this how disappointed I am. One, this is not the Italian formula. It is not the baked formula. The shimmer in this is not the sort of really beautiful luxe formula that she often releases in her quads. It's not luxury packaging, it's cardboard, it's very lightweight. It's quite a disappointment, I've got to be honest with you. It's just really quite cheap and basic, so I'm not massively excited by the packaging or the formula, but I haven't tried it on, so let's just wait and see, because the colours really, really do appeal to me. So especially for this time of year, I think it's absolutely perfect. So this could be used right now if you bought this over the Christmas period. But obviously this is a New Year release, so this will really see you through January, February, March time. I think it's a really perfect colour story actually. I love it. So let's see if these mattes will stand up, seeing as they're not the Italian formulas that I really do enjoy from Bobbi Brown. So I'm going to go straight into this one first, using my Refa number 1, and this shade is called Star Beige. So I'm just going to do a pretty simple look with this, really. So I'm going to start with this as my transition, taking this in the crease, outer V. Not massively pigmented, so I need to pick up a little bit more. Not getting much of a kickback either, so it's not too powdery, which is good, and not giving me any fallout. That's a nice shade, I like that. So this does need to be built up to see the colour, but it does build up, and it actually builds up very easily, so it's looking like a very nice formula for a matte. Very, very easy. So can't complain about that one at all, and it's definitely buildable because you can really see the colour starting to develop there. And using my Refa number 3, I'm just going to run it underneath as well. And using the Refa Shadow 03, I'm going to go into the other matte. And this one is called Plum Blossom, and it was this shade I think that most appealed to me in this palette. So let's hope it looks as good as I'm hoping it will. I love this sort of warmth at this time of year of a plum. I think this would be a really nice autumn shade, winter shade. It covers both seasons. Yeah, and that shade is everything I wanted it to be. So really, really nice actually. I'm blending in very, very nicely. Look how easily that's gone in. Very, very easy. So they aren't the Italian formula. It's not very luxury or high end, but the formulas so far in the mattes, 10 out of 10 actually. Really liking them. And going back in with that lighter matte and just going around the edges now to soften. So now we're left the 2 shimmers. So I'm going to use my Shadow 00, the more flat brush, and go into the darker of the 2 shimmers. This one is called Pearl Rose. A little bit of kickback coming off that one. So let's take Pearl Rose now across most of the lid. But leave at least the last third for the lightest one, I think. I'm hoping this is giving me enough coverage on its own that I didn't need the matte underneath. I think it just about is, but I wouldn't say this is a full coverage shimmer. This probably would look better on top of the matte actually. I don't know. It is giving reasonable coverage. Maybe I'll try with my finger, see if I can pack on a little bit more. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I think it's giving me a little bit more coverage. I'll do the same on the other eye now. And now Firecracker Shimmer. This is probably the nicest one in this palette. If I just show you a quick swatch of this one. This one does look like it has a little bit of a shift in it, a sort of pinky white shift. So I'm going to use my BK Beauty 207. Take some of it on there and then pop this in the inner corner first and then start bringing this onto the lid. I want to break up the pink and introduce enough of that sort of lighter shade to bring some lightness to the eye now. So these shimmers are okay. That's all I can say in all honesty. I love Bobbi Brown's Luxe Formula shimmers. These are nothing like them. I'll do a quick swatch comparison actually to give you an idea now, but it's just okay. That's all I can say. The matte's very good, the shimmers, okay. I like that that's given me a nice sparkle across the lid. I do prefer the way it's starting to come together, but something that this quad doesn't have is anything that would work as a liner. So I will need to put some sort of liner in. I think I'll use a brown liner. So I do have here the Bobbi Brown release from last year, and this one is called, this is the Italian formula, the Moonstruck Luxe Eyeshadow Quad. So these are all shimmers, but I'll just choose one shimmer. I'm trying to think which one is the closest. They don't match at all in shade. Maybe I'll just use this one just to show you the difference. So this finger here is the Luxe formula, and this one here is from this new LUNAR palette. And if I swatch the two side by side, you will see a very clear difference. This is the Luxe, the stunning formula, and this is the shimmer in this quad, which is just very, very average shimmer, average quality. Not impressed. I'm not going to run any of these reddish shades underneath because that's going to make me look even more sick than I already am. I desperately need some sort of brown liner, so I'll pop some brown liner and mascara on and I'll be back to show you my finished look. but this is how it's looking at the moment on the eyes before I add that. Pretty, but just okay in my opinion. What do you think? So here is my final look. I've added some brown liner, the Victoria Beckham in Cocoa, putting a little bit above and below, and my mascara. So now I think that it looks a lot better. It definitely needed that. This does not have any sort of liner shade, so you will need to use a liner with this one. And the standout for me is probably this shade here, this matte. I think this plum is beautiful. The shimmer is extremely average and just okay. And it's just an average quad. It's not terrible, it's not amazing, it's just okay. And I don't see myself reaching for it a lot. I mean, I'd quite like the packaging as in the pattern, these lanterns, which are symbolic for the new year, but that's about it. The packaging is quite basic, very, very basic. It's not a stand-up mirror, as you can see, but there is a mirror inside. It's just okay. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that though. Anyway, let's move on to this other new release, which I know already I love because I've tried it once before, and that is the blush and bronzer I've got here from Whatsup Beauty. So they released a number of shades. I've just gone for the ones that suit my skin tone. So I'll just show you the prices actually, because you can buy these in a bundle, which is what I did. If you just buy one of these, it's $36, but if you get them in the bundle, it's $56 for the two. So you actually save 20% by buying the bundle, so it's quite a good offer. And if you go for 4 shades, I didn't want to do that because the next shade up looked a bit too deep for me. But if you did want to do that, you'll save 25%, so it's more of a saving again. And if you're shipping to the UK, like I am, you pay $760 for shipping, which is not bad at all for shipping fees from the US. So that's a very good shipping fee in my opinion, and something that doesn't put me off buying from Whatsup Beauty. You wait maybe about 2 weeks to get it here in the UK. So anyway, this has been out now for about at least a month, maybe 2 months. It's taken me a little while. There's been so many other releases, but I do think that this packaging is really pretty actually. I really, really like it. It's a bit shiny there. I'm hoping I can show this to you. So I like the feel of it as well. I just think it's very pretty. It's got a stand-up mirror. It's quite a solid packaging. So it's got a nice mirror. And here is how the blush looks inside. So I've got the shade Peaceful Pisa, which is shade 10. This is a baby pink blush with a light champagne sheen that enhances your cheeks with a subtle touch of luminosity. So really do like baked formulas like this, and I do like those swirls and different colours. They always fascinate me and I always want to try them. And here is my bronzer in shade 10 Light, perfect for fair to light skin tones. This bronzer provides a lightweight buildable warmth that defines and brightens your complexion. And this duo is ideal for a fresh, radiant look that feels effortlessly polished. That's what they say. And these are made in Italy. They are talc free, clean, non-toxic, cruelty free, vegan, and 99% natural. It has active ingredients of niacinamide and hyaluronic acid, and you get 9.5 grams of product. So reasonable amount of product, very reasonable price, and very, very good ingredients. So I love the ingredients actually. And this is actually called, let me see how it's pronounced, Cheeque. Is that, it says that's how, it looks like cheek Terre if you look at it, but it says the way you pronounce it is Cheeque and then Terre. Cheeque Terre. Okay, is that how you say it? Do you know? But that, it does say that's how you pronounce it. So like I said, this is a collection made in Italy, drawing inspiration from the breathtaking coastal cities of Italy. There are 8 pressed and baked powder products, 4 blushes. I'll pop up pictures of the different shades. And there's 4 blushes with a soft focus finish and 4 bronzers with a matte finish and a subtle sheen. Both often offer a medium coverage that is buildable and blendable for an even application. And the formula melts into the skin, giving you a natural look. And each one of these has the unique marbled effect, crafted from a blend of 4 different colours that captures the hues of the homes nestled in the coastal mountains of Cinque Terre and Amalfi. The blush has a delicate sheen with ultrafine shimmer for a subtle glow with no chunky glitter, while the bronzer features a matte finish with an ultra subtle sheen that offers just a hint of radiance. So the powders are pressed and then baked, resulting in this lightweight, finely milled formula with a silky soft texture, ensuring a smooth application without any patchiness and minimising the appearance of fine lines for a flawless finish. And I'll pop up the ingredients here for both the blush and the bronzer. So let's start with applying this bronzer. I'll go in with my Refa number 22, which I've been using pretty much regularly these days. So I can actually put quite a bit of this on, little tiny bit of kickback, but this is very, very light, so I can afford to put quite a bit on the brush and build it up, which I'm not mad about at all, because I do like to build up bronzer. For me, something I really hate with a bronzer is when you place it here and end up with a huge amount of pigment, and then you've got to really work it out. And especially with me having such a fair complexion, and especially this time of year, I really don't want to put a bronzer on and get that really instant deep finish that I have to spend ages fixing. So you can see this is just giving me a very, very natural pop of warmth, but it is buildable, which I'm going to keep doing now. So I'm really swirling around to capture all 4 of these colours. I'm starting by just tapping into these areas. I'm going to connect it a bit to the eye there, and then just bring it up here. You can see the colour there forming on my forehead a bit more. It does take a bit of building up this, but not so much that I think it's too much work, but more so than the Lancome that I've been loving this year, and maybe more so than the YSL. But can you see the amount of sort of colour I'm now starting to get on my cheeks? So it definitely does build. You just need to give it a little bit of time and go in a few times. But I am quite careful in my application. I don't completely plaster the brush, and I don't sweep it all over. I just pat it to see how much I'm getting and then blend out with the brush. So there we are. I think this is actually a perfect shade for me. So if you're someone who needs a cool toned bronzer and you don't want any sort of orange overly bronzy finish and you're fair skinned with sort of cool neutral undertones, I think that this bronzer is a really, really good match. Really good actually, and I think it's very natural and very pretty. So that's how it looks. I think it is perfect for me. I really do. Absolutely perfect. So it might even give my Lancome a little bit of a run for its money. I'm not going to say it's going to replace it. I will swatch the 2 side by side to show you. So here is my Lancome in 02 Light alongside it, and now I'll do a swatch of both. You can see here on my fingers the difference. So this one is the Whatsup Beauty and this one is Lancome. So you can see why I've had to really build it up to get the colour with the Whatsup, because look at the difference here. There's the Whatsup, which barely shows up in that first swatch, and here is the Lancome. So I did say I thought I had to go in more with a Whatsup, but I think after building I do reach a similar level. So this one is probably even easier in the way that you're not going to make any mistakes, but because it is buildable. I could actually compare it to the YSL, which is a bit lighter than the Lancome. So this is the YSL in the shade 02. Here they are side by side. And these 2 bronzers have been my top 2 bronzers this year, and the best sort of match for a sort of cool tone bronze that suits me. So if I take a swatch now of the 2 together. So this finger here is the YSL and this one here is the Whatsup. So again, Whatsup is looking lighter. Here's YSL and here's Whatsup. So definitely lighter, isn't it? I do have the YSL in 01 as well, the lightest shade, so I'm actually going to compare it to that one to see if it's more of a match for that. Here's the 2 side by side. So this one is the YSL in 01 and this one is the Whatsup, so that is looking like a much closer match actually, isn't it? So that's probably why it was taking me so long to build it. So this is the YSL in 01 and there's the Whatsup. I think they are actually a match. So there we go, and I don't think I've been able to build it up quite as much as I've built this one up, so I find that quite interesting actually. Maybe I need to test them out side by side at some point. I do like the 01 in YSL, like I said, but I always want to add a little bit of 02 as well. But certainly for me, I'm happy with the Whatsup once built up. I think it's really nice. So what do you think? So now going in with the blush, which is also very light. I'm going to use my Refa, the new holiday brush from Refa, which I can't stop using. I'm going to put quite a lot of this on the brush, really swirl it around and catch all of these colours. And here's the brush. You can see it's not picking up an awful lot of pigment, just like with the bronzer. So I should be quite safe to just put this straight on. Very, very similar. So I think really you could go up to the next shade if you've got my skin tone, probably quite easily, and they will apply. But I just didn't think they looked quite as perfect. Certainly the bronzer didn't look quite as perfect for me from the point of view of being cool toned. But I just think these build so nicely. I don't actually feel I'd want to go up. So I would definitely, I love this formula. I love the way it looks. I love the luminosity and the glow. I love the way it applies. I mean, look how pretty this blush is. So I don't feel tempted to go back and to go up. I do need to spend a little bit more time applying layers, but like I said, that doesn't mean that you're not making mistakes and you're not having to correct. It's very, very evenly blended as well, without much effort at all. I don't think I need to go in with a buffer brush just to fix the edges of this at all. Also, you could get away without any sort of highlighter, so I don't think I'll wear a highlighter today, because can you see the sort of natural glowy highlight that this blush is giving? I think it's absolutely stunning. And the first time I tried this, I really did notice that every time I looked in the mirror, I thought that my complexion looked really, really good. So I think this colour is gorgeous. And this entire duo, absolutely love it. And very impressive prices when you think that this is the Italian baked formula. So this is a really, really top end quality blush at a very, very good price. And bronze rather, both of them. Very, very impressive from Whatsup Beauty. Take a little bit across my nose to give the impression that I'm outside in the cool breeze, getting all fresh faced because I'm so pale and sick at the moment. So this is really helping to disguise that, I think. So I'm really happy with both bronzer and blush. I think they are absolutely gorgeous. I really do. A real surprise winner for me coming in at the end of this year. I think they are stunning and I just want to keep reusing them. Really, really beautiful. Anyway, I'll finish now with this lipstick. I'm not sure how this is going to go with my eye look, but anyway, I wanted to include it in this video. And this is one shade that's just been released from Westman Atelier. This was just a single shade released to add to their set. So this one is a lip suede matte lipstick in the shade Elodie, which is a mauve berry. And I'll show you this and you'll probably see straight away why this one appealed to me. Look at the shade and look at the embossing. The embossing is not new. I believe all of their lipsticks from this range look like this. The packaging is absolutely stunning. You need to sort of feel it to appreciate it, but it is very weighty, very luxe. It's got the strongest magnet. I mean, look at that, I'm not putting it down, it's literally pulling it down. It's extremely strong. Lovely, lovely packaging, very chunky, but I really do like it. So it also says that a portion of proceeds from each sale of the lip suede matte in Elodie will be donated to Sea Trees, an organisation that develops coastal restoration projects around the world to reverse climate change. So that's quite good. So this formula is a hydrating matte lipstick with a dreamy, airy feel and a vivid, clean pigment for lips that feel as good as they look. Plump, nourish and smooth with a blend of peptides, vitamin C, E and hydro suede technology for volumizing, moisture locking system that delivers matte finish. So I haven't actually tried this formula from Westman Atelier. I did actually pick another shade up, so I'm going to try that, but that's not new. So I'll just show you Elodie. I thought this was a lovely shade for the winter. Gosh, that is so silky soft, you know, it's incredibly soft for a matte. Well, that's lovely formula. Really, really almost like skincare feel to it. Oh, that is beautiful. And this shade, everything I wanted it to be. So I don't have any liner on, but it does have quite a pointed tip. So I'm just going to take it around the edges using this pointed tip. That definitely works to line. Isn't that shade stunning? Oh, I absolutely love it. I'm so glad I picked that up. It's not a drying matte at all. It is so silky soft, very complimentary on the lips because it is not emphasizing lines at all and it sits beautifully. It's also starting to dry down a little bit without feeling too drying. Oh, that is really, really nice. I'm going to edit this probably in about 3 hours, so I'll be able to let you know how this is worn. So look out for a little update beneath now, letting you know how this is looking in roughly 3 hours. But yeah, very, very expensive. I think they're around £50. I don't know if I wrote down the price on this. I don't think I did, but these are around £50. They're very, very expensive lipsticks. So it's a real treat, and it feels like a treat. The packaging, the formula, the embossing, and this colour, absolutely stunning, perfect for this time of year. So I'm really, really glad I picked that one up. The other shade I picked up, if you're interested, which looking at it I thought might be a bit too similar now, is called Je Rêve, or something like that. I'll show you it. No, it's not too similar, it is lighter. So I'm not going to try this one on today, but I will try it on in another video probably. Oh, the formula, that's a lovely colour. So it's a bit paler than this one, but yeah, looking forward to trying that one. I'm glad I treated myself to those. They are really, really nice. Like I said, extremely pricey, but if you want to treat yourself to a very high-end matte, I think this one's lovely. So now I've got to say I'm quite happy with the overall look. So I wasn't massively impressed with the eyeshadow, as you know, but now that I've got my blush, bronze and lip on, I'm starting to really like the way everything's looking, and I do like the pink shimmery sparkle a little bit more. It's funny how it almost pops at the end when you've got your blush and your lipstick on. I think it's starting to make the pink almost show up a bit more. So I'm quite liking the whole look. Maybe I'll up my grade of this. I think if I was going to grade it earlier, it would have been about a 5. Maybe I'll increase it to a 7.5, maybe. It is pretty. Just a little bit disappointing. But the blush and the bronze, absolutely 10 out of 10. Love them. Really, really, really love them. I think their formulas are phenomenal, and I love the way they look. So perfect for my skin tone. If you're my skin twin, honestly, perfect. And I showed you the skin tints as well. So really lovely skin tint, almost as good as Lisa Eldridge. Really close dupe, in my opinion, for the Lisa Eldridge, with very, very similar correcting properties. I loved it. So I would love to hear your thoughts on everything I've tried on today. It's been nice to try some new products. I've been doing lots of trying what I've got in my collection recently, so it's been nice to get back into the sort of new release vibe, which I'm sure we are about to be flooded with. I have seen, and I'm preparing a video for new releases, and I've currently got over 100 items in my potential video to show you. I will not create a video with 100 items, but that's how much I'm seeing that is coming out next year. So we have a lot of new releases on the way, people. So this is my sort of first one of 2025, I suppose, even though this is coming to you now in 24. So this is my first New Year review. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. It's so helpful to me, and if you already are subscribed, thank you so very much for being at the end of one of my videos. You know I really, really do appreciate you all, and I hope to see you all again for my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.